Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody had a lovely week. And with that being said, let's prepare for the upcoming trading week. All right, guys, we're going to kick it off here with the indices. We're going to go over the Mag 7 stocks. We're going to go over semiconductors, Bitcoin stocks, and then I have a little over 10 trade ideas for you at the end of the video. All right, let's get right into it. Starting off here with SPY's weekly time frame, I am going to point out we did make our way up to a new all-time high this week, and I do not think that's bearish. If anybody is sitting there getting bearish on this thing, thinking, massive sell is right around the corner, guess what? Markets at new highs are not bearish. It is, representative of the trend wanting to continue. It is probably going to be the case. Does it have to go straight up? No. But we knew this was the overwhelming trend here on the weekly time frame as long as this last swing low held, especially over here on DAA. This is what we're specifically paying attention to. As long as this swing low here held at 416.44, weekly trend is still intact. And now DIA is looking like it wants to push up to new highs. Once we break new highs, weekly trend is still going to be continuing in the upward direction, and you have nothing to be bearish here on the weekly time frame. On the monthly time frame, we had a bit of a scare over here on QQQ with this gravestone doji candlestick, and now we're up near the highs of that candlestick. If you get over there, get above 539.15, this market can get squeezy. You had a lot of people get bearish. I know for a fact because it was all on social media. Mostly everyone was bearish looking for further downside when we were sitting right down here. This week, all of the weeks when we were right here, next to where we broke out from, people got bearish. I could tell you for a fact, if you take out the highs over here, this is recipe for a short squeeze, okay? We already had recipe for, a face ripper rally starting up. I'm just going to tell you, this is where people get squeezy. This is where people start to chase. This is where, anybody who is sitting there in that camp thinking we're going to be getting further downside over here and who wasn't buying or was selling their positions are going to feel the FOMO once you see price get on to a new all-time high. Okay, so come back over to here to SPY, guys. I just want to, get that out in front at the beginning of the video. Just make sure everyone understands we are still in that clear as day weekly uptrend. So we are going to keep the, the mindset here that dips, pullbacks are buying opportunities. Okay, over here on SPY's daily chart, you can see we are stalling out here right near the highs. If it pulls back, it is going to be a clear as day buying opportunity. In what world do you have this, 1 to 2 months of consolidation here, breakout to the upside, and I think it's just going to fall off a cliff? It's not going to happen. And what I'm actually seeing right here is something I didn't call it before, but it's a pretty clear as day double bottom formation right here, okay? I mean, technically it's a triple bottom. You swept the low from over here. But as you can see, neckline would be sitting right up here around our 602.13 resistance. All right, what happens when you take the shortest leg to the neckline? That's $21. Okay, what's $21 above the neckline? You're going to see SPY up above 620 if that price target is reached. I do think that price target is going to be reached. I'm not telling you we're going to go straight up this week, but if we do pull back, like I think is probably going to happen, you're going to get a lot of people, getting scared there. In reality, we will just be retesting the 602.13 spot where we broke out from. Okay, it's a very important spot. If you are not new to the channel, then that little voice crack. I'm still a little sick myself. We're getting better though. It's kind of just a little cough at this point in time. But as you could see, very important spot here is right there at the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level from this whole most recent decline. We knew if you can get above here, you probably are going to make your way up to new all-time highs at 609.07. As you can see, we broke above here and we went straight to new all-time highs over the next 2 trading sessions. And now we're pulling back. Here on the 15-minute time frame, we did have this bearish divergence going on. I am going to point out now that we do have a bullish divergence here on the 15-minute RSI. And if we do continue further down to start off the week, we're going to see this RSI, this 15-minute RSI and SPY, and probably the same over there on QQ, IWM, and DIA. We're going to see this thing get into oversold territory. And as I just pointed out, the dips, the pullbacks, these are going to be our buying opportunities for new highs. Okay, so don't get bearish on this, but a little scenario here is if we see this thing get oversold, we see price flush down here, you get buyers around 605.36, you get this little nice bounce. Okay, we're going to take our next golden pocket, we're going to bring it from over here to over here. It's going to line right over there with 609.07 resistance. We know that's going to be a strong spot. Maybe you come down here, you show some weakness, you get that bounce. It's going to be a dead cat bounce. You come down, you break the neckline. All right, and from there, maybe you get a retest here and it gives you enough, enough power down there to get down to 602.13, which is what I'm looking for. Okay, if we can get that, that is the next big buying opportunity over here in SPY. All right, and this is how that bear structure could form here on the 15-minute chart. Now it's pretty, pretty simple here. We're just going to pay attention to the levels we got going on here. You are in the golden pocket here with that current 15-minute bullish divergence on the RSI. So that's why, I have it on my chart, but I will take it off just in case we break under 606.60, we'll call it. Break under there, we're coming down to 605.36. Underneath 605.36, you're going to have 602.13, 599.70, and 597.75. 602.13, you're going to have this daily 9 EMA catching up with price. You're going to have our big 602.13 spot. You're going to have the double bottom neckline, 0.786 Fibonacci retracement, big spot there. Expect buyers on the pullback. Okay, on the upside, resistance 609.07, 610.78, and then we're watching at 615 and 620 psychological levels above. Come over here to QQQ, guys. You got a very similar look, except you're not sitting at all-time highs. But what I will point out is you already took out the 0.786 fib. It is a waiting game. All right. See the pullback, buy the pullback for the new all-time high. It is very likely coming. We don't typically get this look here without getting new highs. Worst case scenario, we build out, a little base up here floating in the sky, and then we launch up above that base. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're probably just going to get a little pullback here. All right, pullback could be, anywhere from 520.06 up to 525.97 gap fill right here. Not really sure how deep this pulls back, but that's why I'm going to be paying attention to SPY. We see that 602.13 spot gets hit. That is when, QQ is probably also going to be near its relative low, and then we can see a rally start up from there. Okay, your key is going to be on the 15-minute time frame you're watching for these bullish divergences to form. Like I said over there in SPY, 15-minute bullish divergence was present. Over here on QQQ, you're right here on support, and your 15-minute RSI was in oversold territory. So, I'm just saying, guys, I think it's more likely that we bounce to start off the week, maybe reset these things, and then come down. But if you straight up come down, like don't look for that dip to last long, guys. It's going to be like 1 to 2 trading sessions. I'm going to take the time to come over the economic calendar right here for the week. On Monday, guys, we got like nothing, okay? You got new home sales. You got consumer confidence over here, okay? You got durable goods. But what's on Wednesday, guys? FOMC rate decision, okay? So that's we're going to know the next big step here for the market. We get it once a month, all right? Sometimes once every 2 months, but most of the time once a month we have this FOMC rate decision, and then we're at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's on 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, and then 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time we have Powell actually talking and addressing the market and talking about what has happened here. Okay, I do think we could see VIX spike into this, and I do think we could pull back into it. Ideally, it gets bought up after we sell into Wednesday, and then we get bought up on that news, on the FOMC rate hike decision or rate cut decision, whatever it may be. All right, it's not going to be rate hike anymore. We're out of that. Is it going to be cut? Is it going to be flat? Absolutely no idea. But ideally, we sell into that event. We set up something, set up a little base here on the smaller time frames, and we rally off of that. And ideally, we get down to this area over here on QQQ. All right, your support on QQQ, you're watching 528.45. Under there, 525.97 gap fill. Under there, we can add this little level right here just so you have something, okay, to watch over there, 524.07. And then underneath there, you have 520.06. Right around 524 over here, you're going to have these short-term moving averages, okay? So if you get down into this area, expect buyers to step in, all right? I know the golden pocket is all the way down here. Do not be surprised if we don't test the golden pocket and we just do something like this. That's the 0.5. Up here. So, if you hit 520 to 524, we probably are going to get buyers stepping somewhere around there. Okay. On the upside, as your resistance, you're paying attention to 531.24, 534.13 and 539.15. Above 534.13, which I'm actually going to change that level right now. We're just going to be paying attention to 533.82. Above 533.82, we're watching for 539.15. I think that's a move that happens quick. Once this pullback ends and we start moving and grooving again, I think it happens quick. Okay, we're currently in this spot right now. Okay, you know, you're rallying here, we're in something like this. Rallying here, we're in something like this. No matter how, you know, how this dip or pullback turns out to, you know, and actually forms, I have no idea. But no matter what happens, it's a pullback buying opportunity for this move to new highs. And if I had to guess, now that you're finally, you know, you're making a trending move right now, if I had to guess, you're going to pull back and you're going to find buyers off these short-term moving average, guys. When you're in a trending market, you pull back to the moving average. You pull back to the moving averages. This is where you usually get buyers defending, okay? Right over here, right over here, right over there, and then you started falling, okay? You lost the short-term moving average. Well, right now, guys, we've been dancing around it for a month and a half. We're just now getting over it. On the weekly time frame, we're over the short-term moving averages. We're still over it. You know, this whole thing was bullish. Now we're getting that trending move started. It's time to take advantage if you see that pullback, okay? It's not time to be, you know, in fear mode. It's time to get ready to ride the market up higher, because it's very likely not going to be just pulling back from here. It's going to be buying opportunity. Like, it is going to pull back in the short term with all likelihood. It's probably not going to amount to too much, okay? Coming over here to IWM, important thing is you're over 226.64. Guys, that was our big supply zone that we had to get over. We got over with flying colors this week, and we consolidated above it all week. Okay, we had Monday off. We gapped up on Tuesday above it, pulled back to test 226.64 on Thursday. And as you can see, we stayed consolidating above that all week. The important part is on the weekly time frame, you have the short-term moving averages. On the daily time frame, you have the short-term moving averages. You're above that. You know, you got this little double bottom / base breakout. It's a break and retest off that base. This thing's probably going higher. Expect to move into the golden pocket up here, 233.40 to 238.60. Your resistance is going to be 230.55. Get above there. We're watching 233.40, and then you have 235.92. On the downside of support, you have 226.64, 224.66, and then you really don't want to get under here, because at that point, you're probably coming back to fill this gap right here. All right, if you cannot hold this zone and it does not get flipped into demand, it already is being treated as demand, but if it does not hold as demand, you're coming back down here in 220.23 gap, so you don't want to see it. All right, DIA, guys, who knew this one was going to show the most strength over here? Okay, just I mean, I guess SPY is showing the most strength, but DIA over here, second, it's a close second over here. Stalling out right here at the 0.786 fib. If it pulls back over here to 438.04, I think that's going to be your buying opportunity. That's where you broke out from over here, most recent spot. And then if that does not hold, you're watching 431.42 to 433.20 down here. All right, but I do think it's probably going to hold up here, and then we're going to continue up to new highs. 451.55 is incoming. Just look at the monthly chart. Does it tell you any bearish things? No, you pull back to the 9 just like over here, and then you're, you know, looking like you want to launch up to new high. You know, come over here to the weekly chart. Does it tell you bearish things? No, you held the last swing low by, you know, we're talking like $3 over here. $2, 416.44 was the low. Your low over here for this whole move down was 418.51. You know, it's picture perfect what happened over here. We knew buyers, they had incentive to step in between here and here. Luckily, they stepped in. You had the bullish divergence sitting over here on the daily RSI. We knew what to be paying attention to. Now we're just seeing it play out, guys. This thing just started. Expect, you know, price not to move straight up. But again, just started. On the weekly time frame, you had 2 months of downtime over here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, well, it's 1.5 months. Okay, 1.5 months. You have 2 weeks of upside. We're gonna have 1.5 months of upside. Okay, that's all I have to say over here on DIA. VIX over here, guys. Why do I have that spike showing 50% up to 220? That 50% spike up to 2204. Why is that sitting there, guys? Because we saw a motherload of VIX calls come over here throughout the week. So specifically, this right over here on Friday, 22, guys, someone put $5.6 million on this. You know, guys, you got $15 million in calls over here. You know, let's just be real. VIX, we knew to be looking for a spike over here. I was looking for 16 and 17. It never came. The market kind of, well, I was looking for this market wide pullback over here. On this day right here, the market decided we don't want to pull back. We don't want to do that. QQ, you know, as we could see, it went absolutely nowhere. You did not take out the 533.82 high. You just didn't do it. You had 533.79 be the high of the day on Friday. We're still in this range here. You know, I guess we did kind of pull back over here on QQQ, but, you know, I think the pullback that we were ready for to start last Wednesday going into Thursday, I think it is about to be coming. All right, and I think that's going to come with a VIX spike over here that's probably going to scare some people. But in reality, does this thing look like it just wants to, you know, go up to new highs? Probably not. But, you know, it's something that can happen, and it is something to keep on your radar. But I am just going to be looking for a bounce up to 16. At this point, we're going to say 16 to 18 bucks. I'm going to be looking for that spike. I don't expect price to just get it back above these short-term moving averages. So if we get above it intraday, look for a wick to form, just like something over there. Okay, so those are the indices, guys. Now we know the big picture for the week, guys. Expect the pullback, but by the pullback, that's the big picture for the week. Tesla over here, guys, you did have that double bottom breakout. You're still just pulling back into that, you know, area you broke out from. All right, well, you technically broke up out here at 426.43, but I want to point out this, guys, it's still just consolidating. Okay, you know, I know it looks terrible, but in reality, this thing is slowly selling here. Doesn't look like anything to be massively bearish on. This is still bullish structure. You know, in reality, weekly time frame, we had the bullish engulfing candle stem right from this weekly 9. We're still right here on the previous all-time high. I know people want to hate Elon with the whole Nazi salute thing. I don't think that has anything to do with this, but what did I learn, guys? Do not put on any political trades. Just don't do it. It is not worth it. Just wait for the charts to set up and stick with that. I feel like anytime I go after a catalyst, I get screwed, and it does not do me or my people any good. And that is something I am going to be staying away from. Tesla was a prime example of this. And, you know, there's that. Okay. Tesla, guys, expect buyers here. You're coming into the golden pocket. 390 up to 401. We'll come over the daily time frame. Like I said, just kind of this controlled selling consolidation over here, right around the short-term moving averages. You know, this is a look that still tells me it's probably going to be getting a pop. Come over here to, you know, extended hours here. You can see 1 hour RSI is already oversold. We are, you know, making our way into this uptrend. You broke above this high over here. So, you know, I do think we are probably going to be seeing this come to a conclusion in the short term, and then you continue on higher. Okay, you just got to be patient over here, but the setup is clear as there on the weekly chart. It's clear there over here on the daily chart, and you can even come over the monthly, guys. This just got new highs. Does it look like, you know, it's going to just pull back? No, it does not. All right, you got this big move into new highs. At some point, it's probably just going to continue going like we have seen on new highs in the past. Okay, new highs. All right, boom. Got to give it time, guys. Got to give it time. But at the end of the day, Tesla going to be up at 500. That is that. Apple, just another one that you got to give it time. Now that you came down here, and, you know, I don't know how quickly this thing's going to bounce back, but I told you, you know, you really have to break above 237 again to see this thing start turning around. Till then, you are buying a falling knife. You're right here at 219.71 support. You did slightly make that lower low over here. But I will say daily RSI is oversold. I don't think you go much further down, but at the end of the day, you are going to need to wait until you get over this area, this little hump here in the chart, 237, for this to look a whole lot better. And from that point, we probably do get, you know, a trending move starting back up. For the time being, it is time to, you know, if you're making buys, just make sure you have time on those. If you're buying shares, you're perfectly fine. There's that. If you want to focus on the ones with strength, I clearly pointed them out, you know, coming into last week, and then, you know, throughout the week, I pointed these are the ones out. You want to go with the strength, these are the ones. You got Amazon, you got Microsoft, you got Meta. All right, Amazon over here, guys, fresh highs, weekly chart, closed out near the high. It looks like it's going further. If you see the pullback, it's a buying opportunity. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Pull back to 229.14. That is going to be providing a buying opportunity. This thing is probably going 245, 250 in, you know, we're going to say next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, it's Amazon, Microsoft. We could see where it closed out at the highs. You have this nice volume coming in, guys. We talked about if you're pulling back into this, you know, where you consolidated here for 3 or 4 months, maybe 5 months, whatever this is. Expect buyers. You're coming back into the short-term moving average here. At some point, this is going to start trending again. All right, when you were just dancing around the moving average like this is when a big move is loading. I think a big move is loading. I think it's probably going to look something like this at some point. And then, yeah, Microsoft is actually going to be in a trending, stage over here, okay? So that's the thing with strength right now. You could also be paying attention to over here on Goog, guys. This is not looking bad by any means. It does look over here on the daily time frame like you flipped 198.16. You broke out from there, flipped into support, pulled back, hit that, daily 9 EMA, and it looks like you want to continue higher. You see this little bull pennant formation you got going on here. I do think it is about to break up, okay? And from that point, we could see 210 to 215. All right, Meta over here, guys, is the star of the show. Like, you got Microsoft, and then you got this guy. This guy finally just broke out. I do want to say now, next week, probably 660, 670 incoming. It's looking really nice. I know we already hit 650, so we can't put that target on the board. We finally hit our target, but I do think this is going higher. I do think this move probably just started up here, and I do think, we have what it takes to get 680 to 700 on this push up here. I'm not a hippie, all right, but I talk about compression and energy here, and it's actually the same concept I just talked about. When you're consolidating around the short-term moving averages, you're getting ready for that big move, okay? Over here, you're getting ready for, just consolidate. It's real sloppy. You're not respecting them, okay? And you broke out. Now you're starting to respect it. Pull back to the 9, get buyers. Pull back to the 9, get buyers. We're in an uptrend. This thing wants to go higher. The move just started. Meta is leading the way over here on the Mag 7 stocks. Let's go over the semiconductor stocks, guys. Look at this troll over here, SMH. You looked like you were going to have a big breakout over here in the weekly time frame, and you got sucked back into the range by end of week on Friday with that ugly bearish engulfing candlestick. Expect buyers on this pullback 254.47 or 262.26. I know you're right around here, so we're just going to be watching 254.47. Let's look at the chips, guys. I'm just going to show the weekly chart. All right, break and retest off this little double bottom neckline over there. You're still just in this range. At some point, this thing is probably going to break out to the upside. For the time being, just play the range, guys, okay? You came up. Let's hold decline here, okay? Hold decline. This is the 0.786 fib right here. This is where you were paying attention for sellers to step in. We had a little peekaboo action above there, and then you died, okay? And you put in a bearish engulfing candlestick. Now, pay attention over here to this 140 spot, this around the short-term moving average over here. Really, guys, don't go crazy over here with this chart. Wait for your buying opportunities to present themselves. So we got a clear as day one over here, got a clear as day one over here. Just wait for them to keep presenting themselves, okay? And I think you're going to have a good time in the video. All right, so watch 140 for buyers to first step in. If that does not hold, okay, I'm just going to, declutter the chart here. I guess we keep that, okay? So we have 141.90 right here, which I was saying expect, I was looking for 140 to 141.90 to be tested. That is the little area I was thinking that we were going to test. I think I had a green circle in that video as well. All right, so we're not testing that. If 140.27 can't hold around the short-term moving average, then you're watching 136.38. All right, that's where you broke out from over here. Okay, had these, 3 days underneath there, and then boom, you popped above it, retested it here, and then you're off to the races. Retest there. You're going to have a go to pocket test, and you probably get buyers stepping in. All right, guys, this was leading the way over here in the chips early on in the week. On Wednesday, you kind of, rocket ship. Tuesday was a big day. Wednesday was a humongous day, and now you pull back, okay? Anywhere between 156.40 and 164.16, I think is a valid, buy-in opportunity over here. But, this thing did just have a massive move. If it retraces, don't get mad at it, all right? It's just doing what it wants to do. Don't get mad at what the charts want to do. They will take their time, and this is why, I really say there's no point in taking, short-term options. If I was doing so, I would just not, it wouldn't be working out. I'm just saying, you're going to have a harder time all around, all right? Stressful. Win rate, like everything's just going to be worse for you if you are taking the short day options. Much worth just trying to play out for the swing. As you can see over here, ARM, guys, we had this big move loading over here. You didn't know when it was going to break out. I thought it was going to break out over here. It didn't. But, at the end of the day, if someone just had bought in 5 to 6 months in their contracts when you thought it was breaking out, you could have held through this whole thing and not been phased at all because you had 6 months on the contracts and, only a month and a half went by. And then the price moved up massively from where you bought in from. And now you're up massively in the end anyway. This is why I say, swing trading, this is supreme. This is where the money is made in the market. Okay, you could become a day trader, but you know, a lot of people aren't going to make it in that way. And I guarantee a lot of the viewers of this channel, guys, are not people who can sit and stare at a screen all morning. I just, you know, don't think that's the majority of people. You know, I don't think that's their focus out there. They can't do that. But ARM, guys, buying opportunity over here on the pullback. It's going to all-time highs. MU over here, guys, until it breaks out of the range, guys, it's still stuck in that range. I do think the break of 106.74 started that move. But now watch 178 for, you know, your support play right here. That's where you have the short term, you know, of the daily 21 right here. If you get buyers, guys, really, you gotta break above 114.80. I mean, I think there's no reason to touch this thing until you break above it. There's plenty of other opportunities I'm putting on your radar, and this ain't one of them. Okay, you know, I like the weekly chart over here. I like the daily chart, but at the end of the day, you're stuck in this range here, and you gotta break above it. Until you break above it, you're gonna keep getting trolled, and it's not worth it. Okay, AVGO over here, this is poised for new highs. You know, if it pulls back, expect it to be bought. You know, I don't know how much of a pullback it gets when it looks like this. It really doesn't look bad at all. Weekly chart looks like it wants to just continue. Just my opinion there, but we will see how this goes. Expect new highs over here on AVGO. TSM, it was a leader before anything actually broke out. It was a leader back then, leader during the consolidation with all, you know, how it's set up, and now it's, you know, just doing leader things over here up at highs. Pullbacks over here at Clears Day buying opportunities. This is the leader of the chips. This is something that will continuously be bought up on these pullbacks to new highs. So if you want to go with strength, there's TSM. AMD, you want to go with strength, don't go with AMD. AMD is always going to be the weakest of the bunch until you get something like this going. And we will know clear as day when that's happening, because it starts with a move like this where you just go vertical. Okay, we will know. It's not right now. It ain't right now, I promise. All right, don't troll yourself. Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin is something that I think is getting ready for that next push up. All right, can it consolidate up here for, you know, another week or so? It could. All right, but, you know, who looks at this chart and thinks bearish things? Not me. Okay, you know, other people can, but just not me. This thing is consolidating in between where it broke out from, double bottom, you know, neckline right here. Take the shortest leg of that, you know, double bottom there. There's 11,000. You know, that brings you up to 100, you know, 14,000 right there. I think that is coming. I think if that comes, I think we're going to get, you know, a nice push going here on the Bitcoin stocks, on the proxies, on the miners. You know, some are looking better than others, so we're going to go over that in a sec here. But, you know, consolidating above the daily 9 here, I like it. And I think it's getting ready for that pop. All right, MSTR, guys. This is, I'm focusing on this and coin right now. Specifically, I think coin is like way better considering what happened over here with the weakness on Friday. All right, they announced dilution, and at some point they're going to leverage themselves again and, you know, issue debt to them by Bitcoin, and then you're probably going to get, you know, another little pop here. Until that happens, you got to wait it out. But you know, this is something that I do think is probably going to be seeing a bounce soon, whether it be here or down here in the golden pocket off this trend line here. I think this is going to see a bounce, probably do something like this and come back up to this, you know, 368.42 level, up to that 390 mark. You know, if Bitcoin does just get that next leg up, there's a chance that all of these just decide to go. It doesn't really matter what happens in the short term. So, you know, just watch Bitcoin. But MSTR, it's something to watch. I'm not going to say it's something to put too much focus on considering the weakness. I didn't, it was a mistake, but it is what it is. I got my hand right now on coin and MSTR, and I do think they are both getting ready for a pop. I know you're rejecting right here, and you could be like, Henry, the pop already happened. No, I'm getting ready for a pop. I do think it's coming. I think the charts are set up for that. I've been in these things where, you know, I've seen them set up and then I've, you know, not let them play out, and then I've been sad. Okay, right now we're in one of these modes here, and I do think we're probably getting ready for a pop. So is it going to consolidate with Bitcoin for like another week, maybe pull back over here and then go? Maybe. All right, but you know, at the end of the day, this thing looks ferocious. Okay, it looks absolutely ferocious. We're almost at the end of the month and you're closing out like this. Ooh, this thing's gonna fly. All right, February coming, guys. This thing's gonna fly. We just got to give it time. All right, but Bitcoin, you get that move I just spoke about. This thing's at new highs. Okay, right over here. This is the other one I'm saying is setting up right now. Monthly time frame. Clear as day, you see it. I think this is probably going to be the strongest miner on this next push. It was the strongest miner over there on Friday. As you can see, weekly chart looks phenomenal. Monthly chart I just showed you looks phenomenal over the trend line. Daily chart, you're kind of just doing a whole lot of nothing up here, but at some point, this thing probably gets a big green boner candle, and it goes up. Okay. CLSK Mara, I'm not going to say these things are looking too good. They have similar looks to the other ones, but they didn't break over this high. Like you can see coin over here, broke above the high. MSTR, you broke above the high and you broke back under it. All right. But that's why I say Mara, you know, you kind of just rejecting that high, which is not the best thing. Like even CLSK got above there. So Mara, weakest of the bunch. I would focus on coin, Riot, and then MSTR. That is my tier list right there. Okay, guys, now we're at the end of the video where we're going to be giving you over 10 trade ideas coming into next week, okay? First one, we're going to start off here. Meta, okay? M-E-T-A. Facebook, okay? Increasing volume on Friday. We do have earnings next week. I think we're probably going to be getting a big earnings gap up. That's my guess, okay? With how this chart is set up, I don't think we're going to fall on this chart. I really don't. I think big things are coming. And I think this week is probably going to, you know, be takeoff. I'm selling, you know, most of what I got into earnings, but I kind of really want to hold at least one contract for earnings. I've never held through Meta earnings. But I think we have a chance to catch a nice 10% move, 10+% move over here on Meta. And what does that give us, guys? Ooh, that's a $70 move. I think it, hey, we saw some crazy shit on Netflix over here. Okay. All right. We saw it. I think we could see some crazy stuff on Meta. All right, so I'm watching it. Out of the FANG stocks, out of the Mag 7 stocks, I'm watching Meta. I'm watching Microsoft. I'm watching Amazon. Amazon specifically is the one with strength. You buy those pullbacks. Goog is another one. Okay, but Microsoft specifically over here, guys, I'm getting ready for this break above 456.16. You broke out from this double bottom formation I called out somewhere over here. And you're looking like you're going to hit our target next week, 456.16. I do think 468.35 is incoming in the short term after that. Dips are buying opportunities over here on Microsoft. I just went over coin in detail. What I really like is this monthly chart, weekly chart. Daily chart's a little sloppy, but you can see it coming together. You have this falling wedge over here. Found buyers off the golden pocket. You had the bullish divergence over here. You know, this thing's probably getting ready for a bigger move. Pullback is a buying opportunity. Roblox over here, this is something showing strength. It showed strength literally the whole entire time. And I want to point out on the weekly chart, it still looks like it wants to just straight up grind higher. All right, 69.77 to 73.71 incoming. Daily time frame, these dips are being bought, guys, off the short-term moving averages. You're probably going to get a leg up. You consolidate again, dip to the short-term moving averages, okay? BA over here, I put it on your radar. While is in this, well, actually not while is in, but right here on this little breakout last Friday. Now we have, you know, started grinding our way higher towards the highs. I do think 182.57 is coming, and then 196.95 above there can come quick. All right. Diz over here, fresh breakout from this downtrend over here on Diz. You're watching 116.12 and 118.63. I do think we can get up there. Doesn't have to go straight up. But you see a pullback is probably going to be providing a buying opportunity. Ideally, you pop your head above here, you consolidate and give us something to go off of, and then we have something to go off of to play that next move. But you have earnings literally coming up, you know, not next week, but the week after. 2 weeks from now, you have earnings coming up. Hey, another big gap up incoming. Don't know. Schwab, I'm just giving a little update, guys. You know, I put this trade idea when it was basing out over here, and I said your key was $75. All right, you got your daily close above 75 here, and you kind of just launched into the air. You know, you did have earnings, so that had a say in there, but I thought I'd just, you know, just stay. All right, come back to the scene of the crime here. And I'm also going to say this thing's probably going higher, right? You don't typically just push up like this and not make new highs. It's going to grind higher. Maybe it does that, makes new highs, pulls back for a week, and that is a buying opportunity. But, you know, just put it on a radar because this is probably going to be continuing through new highs. Dips are buying opportunities. Oxy over here, guys. I know it looks pretty ugly, but, you know, I'm specifically putting it back on our radar because we came up here. I told you guys, like, you know, bullish over here through the breakout above 49.91. We probably could see a quick move up to 52.13. That's where we had the golden pocket. So if sellers were going to step in with the daily RSI overbought, it's going to be in the golden pocket. So I told you guys about it right here. And it was on this day right here. And that's when I put in this arrow right here. It was actually on this red day, it looks like. So I'm putting this back on the radar. Why? Because you've now came down to the bottom of my arrow. And, you know, I don't know how far this thing wants to really dump here, but I do think that the structure is bullish over here that's building out. You broke above this high. Look for a higher low over here, and I do think we could get back up to the highs. Okay? I'm just going to point out, this isn't the most bearish chart to me. This is something that, you know, I'm not going to say it's terrible, but you did. Notice how you have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. You finally have your higher high. All right, expect a higher low on this bounce or on this pullback, and then for that bounce. Upstart, weekly chart has come back together. You pull back to that golden pocket and you found buyers. You're back above both short-term moving averages. I think this thing has a chance of starting to trend again. It's been a while, but I do think we could get a nice impulsive move right around the corner. HIMS, all right. HIMS is one that, you know, I put on your radar here after it broke out. It was on this day right here. You had an opportunity here to buy it. You had an opportunity on these retests. At this point, I do think it is going to be making its way up to 35.02 in the short term, 1 to 2 weeks. That is what I think. Not really sure what happens here in the immediate short term, considering this, you know, shooting star style candlestick. Not the best look, but, you know, worst case scenario, probably just pulls back to 28.72 and finds buyers. BABA, guys, waking up here on Friday. Weekly chart is what I want to put on your radar. Got above the short-term moving averages. You had this base going on here. You're getting above that right now. So above 90.46, guys, you're probably gonna have a straight shot up to 95.52. Oh, excuse me with the hiccups. Damn. Oh, damn. Okay. That's what we're watching over here on BABA. Another China stock, PDD. All right. This thing is also given another little base over the past few weeks, and you know, you got a clear double bottom neckline. You break above 113.92, guys. We'll take the short end of the stick over here, the short leg on this double bottom. $18. $18 is bringing you all the way up to, you know, above 130. I do think we could be coming above 130 here on this move. Okay? Probably could happen, you know, within a week. Uber, guys, bullish on the weekly chart, bullish on the daily chart. I put it on your radar here. We were saying it was close downside limit. That's exactly what we said. Somewhere over here in this mess. It was either going to come down here, test that 58.65 gap, and then bounce back, or it was going to start breaking above right here at 63.94 and then start bouncing back. It looks like you broke above 63.94. Now you're just kind of consolidating here, and it looks like you're getting ready for a pop. Okay? Look for a move up to 73.55 above 68.84. PLTR. This is one that I'm not going to say as much of a technical setup here on the weekly chart. You know, it does look like it wants to continue this uptrend. I'm just going to point out, you know, right over here, 124 on Friday, you had millions of calls coming in here for May and June. I do think we're probably going higher. These are all out the money calls. I do think we're probably going to be taking this high in the short term. It just looks, I mean, it's screwed like that flow I just sent you, or I just showed you. You come up that close to the highs, you usually take out the highs over the coming weeks. We're probably about to take out the highs. Okay, so 84.80 incoming. I don't know exactly what premiums are looking like right now, but I think short-term options, you know, you're making 100 to 200% on that move. You're probably making like 100%. Go 2 weeks out on your options around there. All right, last one I'm going to put on your radar. I got one more after this, but this isn't one I'd personally be playing. Not over here on cost. The next one isn't one I'd personally be playing. My apologies. It is early in the morning. It's not early in the morning. It's 9:39, but, you know, your boy did wake up over there around 8 o'clock. So we're waking up. Got to get this video out today while I have time. Right over here, guys, clear as day, double bottom. It's a stronger double bottom considering the higher low over here. You broke out to the new high. The neckline was 94.28, guys. You pulled back to retest the 937 spot around the short-term moving average. You got two bullish candlesticks stepping in there. I do think this is probably getting ready for a move up to 959.41 and then all the way up to 976.30. Okay, right over there. Weekly chart, it's looking phenomenal, guys. Pull back to that weekly 21. You know, at the end of the day, every single dip for the past few years has been bought up ever since, you know, 2022 to 2023. Just consolidated here. Once you broke out, every single dip to the short-term moving average has been bought up. I didn't think this was going to be anything different. As we could see, it's not being anything different. I put this on your radar here, right here at the exact bottom. Why? Because I watch the daily RSI, guys, one of my main tools. I watch that and the golden pocket. Those are my two main tools, aside from just simple market structure and the moving averages. And I'm going to tell you right now, it was picture perfect, okay? You know, I wish this was the only trade I took this past month, was just, you know, just long Costco right here, daily RSI oversold from the golden pocket. Just, you know, buy 5 months out and just sit and do absolutely nothing for the whole month. That is what I would have, you know, that. And, you know, if Tesla could have just gone, I'm going to be honest, Tesla was a big disappointment for me. It really was. I was expecting to be paid big over here on open on Tuesday, and we're gapping up 3%, stronger than any other stock as the market is gapping up here. And then, boom, it gets absolutely clobbered on right at the open. I was flabbergasted. So that's why I said earlier, last time I take a political trade, I will not be doing it. The chart is one thing, okay, and I thought it had a really clean chart set up. But, you know, type politics into it. I'm going to just stay the heck away from all that crap because I'm here to make money. And you're here to make money. And, you know, I want 2025 to be an amazing year. So I'm going to really lock in and just, you know, I'm going to really pick and choose them. And I'm going to focus on the really quality setups here this year. And I promise, in that equation, politics will not be a thing. I really did think, you know, this guy... There's no reason for a stock not to pump after that. That's kind of what I was thinking. But at the same time, the chart had a beautiful look to it. It just got crapped on. You know, ideally, you were to close up at the highs over here going into an inauguration. And then maybe you get a gap up over here above 460 off, you know, off the open. It did not set up like that. You died. Okay. Well, you didn't die. You just consolidated. You know, compared to over here, you died. You're down $40, $33. I'm just waiting on this thing to pop, and then we will move on from trading Tesla for the time being. But I do think, I'm going to be completely honest, I do think one of these moves is just loading up again, one of these trending moves. So keep it on the radar. Last one I said I'm not personally touching. I don't think there's a reason to, because of how much, like, you know, this setup was over here and it got shat on. So I want everyone to just keep that in mind if you're touching this thing. You know, I saw a beautiful setup over here and it didn't work out. Break above 81135. You're going to be above the short-term weekly moving averages. That's when I think this move really starts. That's when I think you get a really quick move up here above $900. But until that happens, guys, you know, it's in consolidation mode. But once you get above 81135, that move can come. That could be lucrative, all right? But on the daily time frame, you can see what's happening over here. Clear as day, finding buyers over here from the zone, from your demand zone. You have that, you know, downtrend right there. You broke out, false breakout over here, but you're doing it again over here to close out the week, and you closed out strong. I think this is probably about to get a big move. All right, am I playing it? No, but it's something that you could potentially play, and it's on your radar if you want to touch it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It wasn't the longest video. Sometimes we have crazy long videos, but you know, 40 minutes, guys, that's a short video for us over here on the weekly updates. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys are doing well this week, guys. Please don't put yourself in a situation to, you know, just, yeah, don't put yourself in bad situations. All right, guys, if you are swinging the market, make sure you're not, you know, just going with crazy size in the market. You know, I recently have sized up and we had a killer December. But, you know, to be honest, with this most recent pullback over there in Tesla, I was quite pissed. It is what it is. Okay. Other things are going. Tesla specifically just pissed me the heck off. And then MSTR just added to it on a Friday. All right. And it absolutely, I nailed the Bitcoin move and the coin move. And then boom, MSTR falls flat on its face. All right. Ideally, it was going to close out similar to how coin did over here. And then it was setting up for next week. It did not do that. Okay. Did not, you know, did not see that they announced dilution. All right. So those honestly recently pissed me off. But you know, what's making me happy, guys? Meta is at highs, Amazon is at highs, okay, and Microsoft is at highs. But you know, really, honestly, I was really excited for Tesla to just, boom, give me a killer start to the year. It did not, though. It did not. So now we work, and it is what it is, okay? Now we grind, okay? Now we grind, and we make sure these situations don't happen again. It is what it is. All right. But, you know, I hope you guys, you know, I really do. I don't want to talk too much about my trade. I know you guys are here, you know, to talk about the charts and stuff. But when I do, I hope you guys, you know, enjoy the commentary on my own personal trading and stuff like that. You know, I know at the end of the day, there's kind of, you know, all the people watching this channel are just going to be traders along their own journeys. And I hope these help you. I really do, because we all, you know, have to go through the same thing, you know, some point in the other, you know, wherever you are in your journey, you're going through it somehow, you know, over time. So I hope, you know, these speak to you guys and they help. But, you know, let me know if I'm a little loudmouth and I should just stick to the charts. Let me know. Okay. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And I will catch y'all in the next one. That being said, peace.